Hello, everybody. We are back again, but we are live this time. So I am Demetra K, and this guy here is Donovan, the recovering Democrat, also known as the Black Yul Brenner, bald as ever. And this is the Demetra K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Also like to say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube, X, and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you just viewers, but you are family. And from time to time, we do share the link so you can come on and express your opinion. All I ask is that if I have not seen you on here before, please show me your face so I can verify that it's no shenanigans and it's somebody who really wants to come up here and be serious. Also ask that if it's not pertaining to the conversation that we're having, please wait until whatever it is you want to say comes up as a topic. I say that every show, and then anyway, we're going to get better at following directions, hopefully. So what else do I want to say before I give it to Donovan? Who came on here? I just want to acknowledge before I get behind in the comments. Don't need, how you doing, Sister Shirley? What's going on with you? Inez, how you doing? Maine, Zakim, I hope I said that right. How you doing? And oops, where'd it go? Razande, how you doing? Michael, Easy Thunder, student, Mike, nice. Lene, how are you? So today I was like, I forgot something. So we're going to be talking about former President Bill Clinton and former President Barack Obama coming together to help that of the current President Joe Biden, because, for obvious reasons. And I'll get into that. But Donovan, what say you?
All right, it is Tuesday. Welcome to the Demetra K podcast. We are glad to have you. You guys know the routine. I'm just going to say this real quick. You guys know, if you want to contribute, there's a banner at the bottom. Also, go check out the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it at Google Play and also at the Apple Store. Go ahead and download that. That way you can know what's going on in the African diaspora across the world. And that's where I get a lot of my information, especially when it comes to what is going down in Africa, because it is going down in Africa. South Africa was found to have been correct and bringing charges against Israel for genocide. Now, are they going to stop it? I don't know, whatever. But here's the deal, Demetra. I don't understand why we're even talking about this subject, because according to the Democratic Party, if Joe Biden had a problem with Black voters, he would be doing something to get us to vote for him. He's obviously not concerned if he's going to win election or re-election, because he's got it in the bag. So I'm going to have to disagree that the Democratic Party and the Joe Biden administration has a problem with Black voters, because if it was any other group, he'd give them this, he'd do that, he would do this and do that. There is no problem with the Black voter, because they're going to show up. I have no doubt. I don't believe the polls. I just don't believe them. They're going to show up, because Black people fundamentally will save democracy. And yeah, they're going to show up. So I don't believe it.
Absolutely. Hello, Polo Styles. How you doing, nevertheless? I'll be jacking y'all names up, and I'm so sorry.
Polo Saint Styles.
All right, there you go. Come on with the Jeopardy. And Thunder, you said, can you believe they really busted out with catfish dinners? Shaking my head, they're looking like they just won't learn yet. Actually, the catfish dinners are not unusual. Let's see. Oh, it said your microphone is too loud. Well, that was Donovan being loud.
No, it's not that it's too loud. That's how Jim Clyburn talks. If you ever watch him, he's yelling all the time. So it's not that it's loud. And if it is, like I said, that was doing my interpretation of Jim Clyburn.
We got you. All right, so let's get into it for the sake of time. All right. So I happened upon this article by NBC News, and they talked about former President Clinton and Obama joining Biden. They said it's for first of its kind that is going to take place. So it's actually a fundraiser, and it has two purposes. They want to raise a lot of money, so they're hoping that it is going to be lucrative and headline grabbing. Okay. Now, also, they want to energize the Democrats who have not shown a whole lot of enthusiasm for the 2024 ticket of Biden and Kamala. because they are going up for a second term, but they have very low poll numbers, and sounds like almost historical lows, from what I understand. And so they are actually gearing up kind of early, they being Biden and Kamala, to get out there on the campaign trail, really to try to energize those people. And they said, sounds like they're trying to energize the moderates, right? The ones that may be in the middle, the ones that would have voted for Trump last time. So they want to kind of grab hold of them, that just among a few other people that are not excited. Of course, y'all know that Trump, it is looking like he is going to be Biden's opponent. They said they really got concerned. Now, this is coming from, I guess, people who are associated with this upcoming fundraiser that's supposed to take place in the spring. They said maybe March or April. But they said they really got concerned when they saw Trump, just run circles around everybody in New Hampshire and Iowa. So that was concerning because, former President Donald Trump has a lot of things that he is dealing with, including 91, maybe 90 at this point, court cases because he was found liable in a sexual assault case or defamation where he had to pay $83 million. Of course, he's going to appeal that, but that's just one of the things. But it doesn't seem to be slowing him down as a candidate. It sounds like more and more people are getting behind Trump, so that's causing them some concern. So they said some of the things that they're doing is hiring more people in key battleground states. And they said Biden is, of course, focused on the Black vote, which is why he has gone to and will, I guess, go to South Carolina again. Y'all know his homeboy, Representative James Clyburn, is there. James Clyburn did it for him in 2020, and they're hoping that he'll do it again. Of course, that means going to the Black churches and, anywhere Black people hang out. I mean, hell, even here in Houston, we've had politicians that go to the nightclub, and put your hands in the air, wave them like you just don't care. So, Black people are in the club. Maybe he'll be up in there too. I don't know, but that's where Biden is focused on. They said Kamala is going to be focused on the Latino voters, the Democrats that, maybe kind of like, just ain't feeling the Biden-Harris ticket right now. So part of the fundraiser will pay for a multi-million-dollar ad campaign that is going to be a direct contrast of that of former President Donald Trump, basically to say, hey, this is, what Trump is doing and this is what Biden is doing, right? He's the better choice. Now, of course, obviously the goal is to beat Trump because, again, they are concerned with that. But they said the one thing that's problematic with Clinton and Obama helping is that Clinton, he's been accused of some strange things too. You get going to, Lolita Island, just to, name a few, I guess. But they also said that they're hoping that Clinton and Obama will help because they were very popular Democratic presidents. And at this point in their campaign, they were more popular and more favorable, I guess, if you will, as candidates than Biden is now. So they're hoping that that will help. And let's see here. Of course, they're banking on them being able to use the economy is improving, right? There's been some strides in the economy. You hear, especially Democrats with their talking points saying inflation is down, which is a little bit, right? Gas is down, food is down, and things like that. But when you talk to certain people, they're like, well, I can't tell. I haven't seen no significant drops in anything. I'm still paying the same amount. And some people are saying, if not more. So they're saying also Biden is going to really start to hammer home the message of student loan forgiveness, among other things. And so they're going to bring out the heavy hitters to see if they could get people on board. So I'm going to get to you guys' comments, but Donovan, what say you?
Well, you brought up the fact that, Trump is steamrolling over his opponents. The last opponent in there is Nikki Haley. What is her official government name?
Nimrata
Haley, and she's still in there. But here's the sad thing in regards to that. And so the Democrats are panicking now because if you look at the polls for South Carolina, Nimrata is behind in her own state that she was the former governor. Then the Negro she appointed to be a senator is backing Donald Trump. So if you are a pollster you would be in panic mode right now, because if I'm the governor and I appointed you, you owe me a favor now, and you should at least support me. And when Tim Scott did that, but then again, she should have known better, because if this Negro turns his back on black people, what do you think he was going to do to her or anybody else? And this Negro is now shooting to be the VP and doing his thing. So let's just be above board in regards to that. But, again, you guys, welcome to the show. You guys are great co-hosts. We love having you guys here. You guys give us the best support in the world. We thank you. Do not forget to share this on your platforms, and go on each other's YouTube pages and support that and become members of each other's YouTube pages. A lot of great stuff out there. Okay, so now we are in panic mode. Now, for the last, I think, 9 months, the Democrats we're not worried. Hey, we've got some signs. The polls are saying that the blacks are leaving, the men are down, and it's worse than last year. Oh, we're not worried about that. Oh no, they're going to show up when they're going to show up. Oh, polls are just a picture in time. It is just where it is. We're less than I think it's 8 months away from the election, and now they are in panic mode because, again, the South Carolina thing, all that other stuff. And then also you got to realize Nikki Haley is being held up by Democratic votes. The Democratic Party is doing a sneaky link to support Nikki Haley in her campaign, because technically she's on her last leg. It's just what happened to Kamala. How many of you guys remember when Kamala was running for president? She dropped out just before the California primaries. And why did she drop out before the California primaries? Because if she lost in her own home state, her political career would be over, because that would tell pollsters and backers and benefactors, this woman can't even hold her own state. 55 electoral votes in California alone. She couldn't even hold her own state, so she dropped out. If Nikki Haley does not secure South Carolina, it's a wrap. Donald Trump is is going to be the nominee. There's no doubt about it. He's going to steamroll all over, and then she's going to go and bootleg and try to get back into the administration. So where does that leave black people? Okay, fine. Now we've got your attention. You're believing the polls. You're believing what you're seeing. You guys are listening to us. I'm getting people on my YouTube channel that have like 2 subscribers. They don't show their face, and these are the trolls that they send out to see what black media is talking about, right? So now we've made you a believer. Here's the thing, people. A lot of people are going to say, they're going to make a lot of promises. Oh my God, yes, you black people, if you get us back in there, if you just get us in there, we're really going to do it this time. We're going to do it this time. You guys have been following my podcast. I've been telling you guys, when a president runs for a second term, if you didn't get nothing in that first term, you ain't going to get a damn thing in that second term, because he has no reason to do it, because he can't run again. So if they're going to make these promises, okay, we need the money up front. We need whatever they're going to do up front. If you're going to forgive student debt, do it right now. There's nothing stopping you. We cannot go by what they're saying, because, again, we stood by him. Did he stand by us? No. We can't keep falling for the get us in office, then, you'll get something. I can't go with that. And, we got to spread that message. Yes. Could he possibly and most likely will lose the presidency? Yes, but you didn't get nothing in the first term anyway, so what's the big deal, right? What do you guys think? Let's talk about it.
Absolutely. Let me go back to this. And hello to everybody that came on. Panther Strike, thank you so much. And how you doing, by the way? You say, Queen Demetria, the maybe in the middle, folks, is there hope and prayer. We are not voting for a no FBA policy party. Hashtag no tangibles, no vote. Hashtag sit it out 2024. Yeah, that'd be their best bet. But, the middle of the road people, I'm sure they voted for Biden opposed to Trump because, they didn't like what Trump was doing. Of course, the insurrection, among some other things. But then Joe Biden has been there 3 years and they're like, yeah, no, we don't like that either. And so a lot of people are saying, yeah, I guess Trump wasn't that bad, and I think at the end of the day, people aren't realizing, policy matters, but my pockets matter too. If I personally take myself to the grocery store and to the gas station or whatever, and my pockets are feeling the pinch, then I want to vote for the person that's going to put more money in my pocket. You know what I mean? The Democrats, they want Black people to continue to vote as a collective for nothing, right? And like you said, and now we need some tangibles. We need a reason to go to the polls. And a lot of Black people said that when Trump was in office, they felt like they had a little bit more money. And so that is a reason. If you can try to find one, I think having more money in your pocket is a good reason. So let's see who else came on here. Go back down. Yara, and how you doing? By the way, he says, I feel Scott should reach out to Donald J. Trump for an interview and ask him on his stance for reparations. Ooh, yeah, it sounds like Donald Trump is in, I guess, high demand. There's a lot of people who want to have a good conversation with him. Yeah, that would be a definitely interesting conversation, I would say. So let's see here. Tom, you say, and thank you so much. You say, I get them out of office. I like that. Yeah, they got to go. And thank you once again. And Brogu, how you doing? You say no reparations, no anti-hate crime bill, no police reform, no getting rid of qualified immunity, no vote. The Democrats are not going to give us anything. They think we will vote for them anyway. Yeah, and they think all they got to do is have Jim Clyburn, get up there and tell people to do it, which is what he did, right? In South Carolina, he got people to do it. We know that Joe Biden's campaign was suffering until he went to South Carolina, and Jim Clyburn did it again. But, it should also be said that Jim Clyburn is struggling as well. He's the one that's saying, the poll numbers are, don't listen to them, my kids, my grandkids. They're not having a problem with the Democrats. It's like, so, are your kids and your grandkids, are they the only ones that matter? Or you taking a pulse of the rest of the country? Now, I will say this, especially if you spend any time online, you're starting to see a lot of people say Trump 2024, Trump 2024, but you're also starting to see other people come out, like Plies, the rapper, I guess. He's on a Democratic train big time. I saw a video of him today. He was like, the Democrats aren't bragging enough. They need to talk about all the things they've done. Gas is cheaper, food is cheaper. And everybody's like, man, stop lying. Okay? Stop lying. So yeah, they see the writing on the wall.
Hey, Demetria, look, I'm going to tell you what's going to fix it for you Black folks, because, you guys love to be entertained. Wow. Look, I'm just like you guys. I like jazz too. Look, I'm getting funky with it. Pick up the pieces. Pick up the pieces, right? Isn't that what Bill Clinton did when he went on the Arsenio Hall show? And we were like, oh, yeah, child, he's the first black president. Oh, yeah, he can play jazz and he can do all that. This is why they're bringing these bootlegs out, because they know a bunch of older people, and there's some younger people too, are going to fall for that because they think it's cute. Now, Demetria, would you agree that strategy will still work? It's in the playbook.
Of course it'll still work. I mean, they know with us, all they got to do is, like you said, get on Arsenio Hall and play Heartbreak Hotel, because that's what he was playing. He had his shades on and all that. Yeah, so they know what gets us excited. It's the equivalent of going to church. Donovan, you and I talked about this earlier. A lot of times people go to church and, the pastor spend a lot of time hooping and hollering, hallelujah, do the moonwalk across the stage and spin around and stuff. And everybody in the congregation, woo! Then you go, they go home. You say, man, Auntie, what did the pastor talk about today in church? I don't know, but it sure was good. Ooh, he preached a sermon today. Well, what was he talking about? What scripture did he read from? I don't know, but man, that message was something else. I'd never be the same. It's the same playbook. Do a lot of hooping and hollering, a lot of swinging from the chandeliers, throw a little saxophone in there, and then it'll work. Like when Hillary went to the Breakfast Club and they asked if she had hot sauce in her bag, because, that was a thing back then when Beyonce had hot sauce in her bag. And Charlamagne says, you got hot sauce in your bag? And she says, yeah. And he says, well, people say that's pandering. And she says, it's working. So, yeah, it's going to work. But Thunder, you say, if the Dems finally break down and decide to come to the table and want an interview, who should do that interview for the grassroots? I have a few ideas.
Demetri K. Who's better to walk somebody down than Demetri K?
I like that. I like your vote of confidence. I think I would do good. Definitely, Brother Phil. I think Donovan would be good. Donovan's a little hard in the paint, though. They're going to be like,
tell me what it is I want to
know. All right. Quinny, how you doing? If I didn't already, says, yes, they have money for the immigrants. They talking ish to black people already, and they just gone. They just got here already. I don't understand the hate toward my people. Well, the hate is toward our people because there was never love for our people.
Exactly. Well, Demetri, let me ask you this question. Why isn't he going to the illegal migrants for votes? Why isn't he going to the Asian community for votes? Why isn't he going to the Dreamers and the Latino community for votes? Why is it we get nothing, but they expect us to vote for them? It just doesn't make any sense. And then Obama, every time I see this man or I hear this man, I get pissed off more so than Biden or anybody else. Why? Because I've seen a black man that fooled me twice and didn't do anything about it. Now, ladies, the Democrats are going to run on reproductive rights. You guys know that. Now, I want you guys to be smarter than your emotions and what you guys are entitled to. Don't let them use you as a political football. If Joe Biden wanted to codify the abortion rights, he had 2 years to do it when he had not a supermajority, but he had a majority in Congress, both houses. And yet he didn't codify that, nor did they get rid of Citizens United. So don't fall for this stuff. Barack Obama, he had a chance to codify it. The minute he got in, he said that's not a priority, even though he promised that would be one of the first things that he would do once he got into office. Bill Clinton, these are the three people that could have codified a woman's right to delete, and they didn't do it, but they all promised they would. Do not let these people use you guys again and use that political football against you and play on your emotions. Use your logic.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to. And let's see here. Hello, Avengers and Ancestors. How you doing? He says, hello, Queen Demetri, Brother Don, Room Black First. Love the hero. Thank you. Appreciate that. And Shanian, I hope I said that right. Says, I remember Clinton on Arsenio. Yeah, he did. They get that right. Because Arsenio back then was, he was all the rave, right? He was that guy. He was, right? He had everybody on there. He had a large audience, but specifically had a large black audience. He was like number one in the ratings, I think, for a long time. But when he had Farrakhan on there, that was the end of his show right there, But I think he kind of knew that. So yeah, let's see here. Let me skip down so I don't get too far behind. Sandra, how you doing? Said that doesn't work anymore. Absolutely not. And MC007, how you doing? Says a lot of smoking and no boogie. Okay. And I'm in purgatory till the Most High come. How you doing? Well, that day was something else. DSB. It says this American government still operates like it's stuck in the 1960s. News flash, America. This is 2024. Cut the checks or no vote. Absolutely. And Alex, I hope I said that right. 2010. How you doing? Patrick, what's going on with you? Says, let the pandering begin. Oh, it's going to start. And like I said, they're going to start early. Hello, odd Negroes. How you doing today? Okay. I'll just catch up and then I can start reading more of the comments. Shelly, if I didn't already, how you doing? Says, this is such a great point you're making. Thanks so much. Education is key. How you doing? Says, you don't vote with emotions. Oh, but we do. As black people, unfortunately, we do vote with emotions. They know that's all it takes is to get us all riled up about nothing. And we're going to be up in there. Hello, Only Pamela's Way. How you doing this fine evening? Mama Debby say they didn't codify abortion so they can keep it using it as a political football, especially our community. It's like, hey, King Shaw, how you doing? Kamala's running around the country talking about, abortion rights. And it's like, but who is she really talking to? She's talking to, us really, because I know it's an issue with everybody else's community, but that's who they really, want to utilize those services per se.
Yes, and you got to think about this. They're using Kamala like this because the Sisterhood does not like a high-ranking sister to be attacked by anything. You can't say nothing when Kamala goes there because you will see so many women defending her, even though what she's doing is BS. They don't like to see, a woman like Kamala being attacked. in regards to, even though she's doing the bidding of the Democratic Party or whatever, you just can't attack a sister no matter what. And the sisterhood, it's funny how the sisterhood comes together for the BS. They come together.
Oh, absolutely. And so, that's especially in our community, we should be cognizant of, like, why is, she ramming that point down, people's throats. That actually helps us, as far as it not being so accessible. So I think we should just really be careful of the things that we're listening to as far as they're concerned. Average logical thinker. And thank you so much for moderating and regulating the comment section. Love and appreciate you for that. You say 2024 is going to be a year to remember. My God, protect us all. Yeah, it's already starting to be, right, for a whole host of reasons. Opulent Times, how are you doing? You says, per title, not listening to a perp and a rainbow pusher. It says, we know their tricks, tangibles, reparations, hate legislation, black empowerment, and qualified immunity or no vote. Absolutely. But Obama and Clinton at one point in time is right up there with Jesus. You say something bad about Obama at the right gathering, you might not make it out of there alive. And the same thing was true for Clinton. They called him the first black president. They being Toni Morrison, and everybody else ran away with it. Ooh, child, he was the first black president. Why? Because he played a janky rendition of Heartbreak Hotel. It's like, come on, but we ran away with that. So they're hoping the heavy hitters are going to come out and energize the people who, aren't excited about it. But it's like, are y'all going to get on the trail or whatever it is y'all planning to do? Because they haven't really said what they're planning to do. Are y'all going to get on the trail, especially when you get out there and you talk to black people, hey, we've heard you. And we're going to get those reparations checks rolling out. We're going to get that hate crime bill coming up right away. We're going to get, police reform and, all that. We're going to do. Are they going to do any of that? Or are they going to, Obama going to get up there, because, let's keep it a buck. Obama's good looking, so he's got a way with he's got a way with the ladies. He's got that swagger. Don't boo, vote. I love you too, baby. Because that's what he says. Somebody says, I love you. I love
Amazing
you.
Grace.
Yeah, let's stay together. Mean rendition of Let's Stay Together by Al Green. Yeah, and they snatch off their spanks and girdles, my name, how you doing? Says, y'all had a Mexican in here talking crazy the other day. I think he was Costa Rican. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, having other people come, like I said, we need friends because obviously our own people ain't getting the job done. And of course, he's a person of a different culture, always is gonna cap for their culture. So we really can't blame him for doing that and trying to educate us from something that we might not know. But however, it's like this ain't really the platform for it. So we try to be nice and kind of let him get a little speak out and go about what he needs to do. But it was a good education for those that might not have known some of those things, because a lot of those Costa Ricans and people, they are of Afro Latino descent. So they are some of them that recognize and accept the fact that they are part of the diaspora.
Yeah, and I understood what he was saying, because I think the other part of that conversation is, like I said, I understood what he was saying, because the United States government, they do destabilize a lot of governments, which forces a lot of people out, and they have gangs that are rogue, like the situation in Haiti. United States government, specifically under the Clinton administration, they did that to Haiti, and so now everything is just crazy. And so a lot of times people do leave. They're like, I can't stay here. I mean, when we were in the DR, which is right next door to Haiti, right? We met a Haitian woman, and she says, I'm afraid to walk outside. She says rapes are common. It wouldn't be uncommon to walk outside, and God forbid that happens. So she says, I don't even, when she was in Haiti, because she's in DR, says, I don't even go outside, because that's just how rampant that kind of stuff is. And so I think it would kind of be disingenuous to not have that other side of the conversation, but keeping in line with talking about our issues, which is what I said. We're focused on, we're aware of those things that's going on, but we're focused on how we as Black Americans can get what's ours. So But I appreciate his point of view. And Sandra, how you doing? He says, a lot of my relatives in South Carolina not voting for Clyburn. They're tired of him, as they should be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, damn, how many pieces of fish can one eat? you know? KP from KC5, how you doing? Says he played the sax, then his wife brought out the hot sauce. Right. You know, can you imagine? It's just crazy. And let's see here, JLJ504HD. How you doing? It says, like the last chatter said, let the pandering, that's cute, begin. Dorothy, how you doing? And Herbert, how you doing? It says, at the end of the Civil War, 6 of the Confederate states passed laws that required you to be an active member of the Ku Klux Klan to be a law enforcement. This is still the rule. Oh, yeah. Law enforcement, shoot. Senators and all kind of judges and, you know, people that shouldn't be in there. They were the main ones that were in there, right? Because when you think of the Klan, you think of Jethro and Jim Bob around the corner that live in the backwoods. But nah, a lot of those jokers were in the, you know, in courthouses and Congress and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, if you look at the way the police department moves, they move just like the Klan. So that they actually got a lot of their, and we know especially too from Israel, but they got a lot of their tactics from the Ku Klux Klan. And some would say it's actually the other way around, right? The Klan, the police came out of the Klan, the patty rollers, if you will.
Right, and then the Nazi SS guard model, the death squads and stuff, actually came from the model of the United States, Jim Crow laws, and the police departments in America. That's where they started rounding up all the Jews and the people and putting them in concentration camps. They got that from Jim Crow era laws and sharecropping and what they were doing back in the days. That was the blueprint.
Absolutely. And Thunder, you say they'll start saying that we'll go back in chains if we don't vote. But I say resist those chains, whether they are they're mental, emotional, economical, and especially if they are political. Yeah, that's who was that? Biden that said that we're going back in chains. It's like, what about the ones you put in chains in the penitentiary behind those crime bills that you made? Do those count too? But yeah, those scare tactics. Y'all going back on the plantation. Y'all gonna be slaves again, and you know all that other stuff. It's like, knock it off. Michael, you say most moderate Democrats are very vague people because their proposals are not bold and specific. If they are not proposing specific policies to eliminate systemic inequality, they need to go. I totally agree with you. Let's see here. I'm reading some of y'all comments. In your average logical thing, it says he came on and did what he was supposed to do, unify unity for his people. Yeah, that's what he did. You know, I think on both ends, we got an understanding of why we are here, you know. And I guess I can understand from his people. He's Costa Rican, but we're specifically talking about the Venezuelans. You know, a lot of them are coming over here for political asylum, but a lot of them aren't. So, you know, let's see here. Odd Negroes, it says easiest way to get our votes, reparations and hate crime protection status for Black Americans. Heck, do it before the election. Yeah, you ain't got to wait because we ain't falling for that. Just get me in there. Like they went to Georgia and said, listen, if y'all get Ossoff and Warnock up in there, the checks gonna come rolling out immediately. It's like, nah, sucker, roll the checks out right now. Give me an incentive, you know, at least half of the checks and say the other half is coming. But he did that old bait and switch. Well, you know, Trump gave y'all some, so I'm gonna give y'all, I'm gonna give y'all the rest. It's like, DSB says, I know everything Obama is going to say. First, he'll say democracy is on the ballot. Then he's going to fearmonger us with Trump. Then he's going to insult us and shame us. Yeah, but, you know, people really aren't falling for that as much. He'd be careful to do that because people are really just, you know, pissed off about it.
Well, you know, don't worry if that doesn't work. Here comes Michelle. I am really worried about another Donald Trump presidency. And again, they rely so hard on the sisterhood. You want to know why? Because the Black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. It's up to you, Black women, to deliver Joe Biden a win. I mean, we got you to John G. Brown up in the Supreme Court who couldn't define what a woman was. So we need you guys to come up out here because you didn't ask for nothing tangible. You just wanted symbolism, which is what they gave you. So now you guys have to deliver him votes to get him back into the White House to do nothing for your children, your grandchildren, and your husband and your family or anything like that. He ain't going to do it. He's depending on Black women because you guys are the backbone of the Democratic Party.
That's what they say. Let me go back to this one here. Pamela said, if I'm not mistaken, did Clinton go along with Biden's 3 strikes? Says Obama allowed banks to steal our reparations and allowed 2 banks to foreclose on our communities so they both can get set down and see. You're absolutely right. I'm glad you brought that up. And that's the message that needs to be said about those 2 when they get out there on that campaign trail. It was under the Clinton administration, that 3 strikes law. It was his administration.
Hey, wait a minute. The pastors signed off on it too, so it ain't just me. The pastors did, and the NAACP. It was them too.
It was, but how is Clinton the authority? Trying to tell anybody what to do. He's got his own issues that he doesn't seem to have the answer for. But they going after Trump, right? But you're right. The 3 strikes law was under his administration. Also during that time, his wife, who was a Secretary of State and was also running to be the president of the United States at one point in time, she also was rooting for that bill as well. That's where she said that the predators, our boys need to be made to heal. Super predators is what she said. And you're absolutely right. As far as the foreclosures, that was the biggest, I guess you say, economic hit for Black people in modern day time.
The Black wealth was taken.
Yeah, with the housing crash, a lot of Black wealth was taken. So those things need to be made evident.
And then I just want to put this out there for those people that might not know or haven't heard about this. Who was the chairman at the time of the housing crisis under Obama? And she's still the chairman till this very day.
Yellen?
No. She's the banking committee chairman.
Oh, you talking about Maxine Waters?
Aunt Maxine Waters. What did she do about it? Her own people that were predatorily preyed upon and all this other stuff. And she's still on it today. Maxine Waters was the chair of the banking committee that could have put a stop and done some things about this or tried to right the ship. And she has yet to do anything. But yet, she was censored because she was funneling money to her husband. Go look it up.
Yes. And Mr. Ali says, ever since Black Americans started voting, they have been losing since the 1800s, especially since the 60s. We have not received any policy specifically for our people. Think about it. You're absolutely right. We have not moved the ball, but they every election cycle, no matter what it is, they guilt Black people until your ancestors die for the right to vote. And you have to do it and all this other stuff. But it's like you said, for what? We haven't gotten anything specifically. There's no reason for us to get in the car, waste that high gas that we just put up in there, and go to the polls. Like, what's in it for me? That we have to always be able to answer that question with them. What's in it for me? Not even just voting, but anything. I'm not saying everything's got to be transactional, but for the most part, it should be, right? So.
And let me add to that. When Big Mama asks you to take her to the voting polls, say you got something to do. Let her find her own way. If she's going to vote for more of nothing and doesn't care about your generation, the generations after her, don't aid and abet her to give us nothing. Just say, hey, Grandma, there's a bus station. You could, what do you call it? Lift it down there, whatever you need to do, but I'm not taking you.
Yeah, Grandma going to make you take her, okay? She's going to make you take her. It's going to be some problems. And Savvy Soho, I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says, I went to the grocery store this week and it's expensive. Everything has doubled. Yeah, but they telling us it's not. All right, it's gone down. It's like, listen, I went to the store, swiped my card, and I'm telling you, it's double, because at one point in time, it seems like every time I was going to the store, you buy the same thing. It was like, man, it's every week, it's a different price. So, but they telling you it's better. It's like, okay. And Tia Truth, how you doing? Let's see here. JLJ, you say, which is why I'm voting for D-Couch if they're not cutting those checks. And then Sandra says, we finally getting on code, no tangibles, no vote. And that's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Of course, we're not going to be able to get everybody, but enough. We'll be able to get enough people to have people pay attention and say, okay, enough with the fish fries, enough with the twerking, enough with the souls to the polls and stolen to the polls. We really got to deliver them something. Otherwise, it's going to be a wash.
But Demetria, and everybody in the chat, our co-hosts, Why do you think it is that everybody now, it's almost like people are in panic mode, in my opinion? Why is it now that we feel we have to do something collectively when we should have been doing that for years, but now all of a sudden everybody's had this great awakening? Dimitri, could you kind of maybe expound or give us your idea of all of a sudden, why is everybody now, wait a minute, what's happening? This great awakening that's happening. What do you think it is?
Because the voices that's demanding something is getting louder and louder and louder. Previous years, he had some rumblings, but they were able to dismiss it as bots. Oh, they don't know what they're talking about, But now people are saying, nah, squash that. I don't care. They're actually, because before too, they weren't hearing people say Trump 2024. People are just like, oh, I don't know. But now people they're calling it out. Trump 2024, I don't care. I'm not voting for Biden. He has not done nothing specifically for us. In addition, because see, before the Democratic Party, where they were doing things, and it's like, oh, are they doing that? I don't know. But now it's blatant. They're helping the migrants. They're helping Ukraine. They're helping Israel. They're helping, they've helped the Afghans and all that. So people are seeing, especially us, it's like, wow, that's really a slap in the face. But when we ask for something, they tell us, well, we ain't got it.
I mean, would you also attribute it to the fact that we are now a permanent underclass? We have more than half of all homeless in the United States is Black. Mass evictions with the Black family, the single mothers that are leading families with children. Do you think it's these things that have put us in such a precarious position? The gentrification that's happening in areas and all this other stuff, where people are like now in their face seeing reality outside their door, rather than saying, well, I'm not worried about it, I'm going to go to work and do what I usually do. Or now are they seeing the fact that I can't afford a home, I can't afford a house, I could barely put gas in my car, I could barely get food to eat? I mean, something has really triggered to where people are like, the American dream, like we've been saying on this show for the millennials, there is no more American dream. They could rent it for a couple of $1,000s a month, but they can't buy it. And do you think that might be, what's waking people up and saying, wait a minute, our wealth is being taken. We're at the bottom of this social economic chamber, and they're bringing in people to put over us. Could that also be a part of it as well?
I think it's a huge part of it, but I think that message could not have been disseminated the way it's been disseminated if it was not for what they call new Black media. It would not have been the case. I mean, new Black media, we've been very demonstrative. We were demonstrative back then, but now the message is growing louder. You got more and more people who are joining and saying, no, this is not right, and it's actually, I mean, because before we were saying it, right? And people really couldn't see it for themselves, but they're seeing it now. Like I said, I think the migrant situation is really a nail in the coffin for them. And yeah, like you said, people are feeling the pinch. It says for the first time in history, 50% of Americans cannot afford housing. 50% cannot afford housing. And it said it's not just people who are lower income, it's people who are, got great jobs, because rents are on the rise. The cost of living is not keeping up with inflation. So there's a lot going on. But imagine that 50% of Americans cannot afford to pay rent or mortgage. So, I mean,
or have savings. Nobody has savings anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, so everybody's starting to feel it. And it's not a good feeling to be worried about, am I going to be able to make my bills next month? Am I going to be able to pay the mortgage next month? Most people would get a new car because new cars prices were reasonable, but new car prices aren't reasonable anymore. The interest rate is still high for cars. It's just a lot going on where people they're feeling it and they want relief. And so when you think about somebody like Trump, even though he's this criminal, they're like, but I was able to survive just a little bit easier when he was the president. In addition to, you see the United States government and other governments within the United States giving all that money and resources to people who shouldn't be over here. But then you got 50% of Americans who cannot afford housing. Hey, facts, not feelings. How you doing? It says peace and love. The same way the Anglo-Saxons destabilized the world is the same way that they destabilized Black families in America. Turn away from Western culture, Black people. Good luck. Joe, how you doing? Says, hello, Demetri. Clinton and Obama need to get their behind out of the picture. And those two jokers wasn't even for the Black American people. It made things more difficult for Black Americans. Yeah, they're still banking on Obama having that star power, with Black people. And I would say that he still does, not as much as he used to, though. Your average logical thinker says, Grandma gonna tell me to take her, and guess what? I'm gonna take her. Exactly. You ain't gonna tell your grandma no. My name, you say, and how you doing? By the way, if I didn't already, he says most people are not asylum seekers. Most are just coming for free benefits. They are emptying prisons and sending over military age men. Yeah, I would say that is true now. Most are coming for the free benefits because before it wasn't that way, right? Before they had to process in and all that other stuff. But now, shoot, they're like, oh, poor you. Here's $9,000. So I agree with you.
Well, how many of you guys also remember that Biden sued Texas in regards to that razor wire, and the Supreme Court sided with Biden to have Texas take down the razor wire, and Greg Abbott is saying, no, I'm going to still put it up. You can come down and take it all down all you want, whatever. So what is the Democratic policy? I mean, to me, it's like a direct attack on Black people, and yet we've got a bunch of people that will still vote for the Democratic Party when this is objective to your existence.
Governor Greg Abbott is saying y'all could take it down and we gonna put it back up. And that's what they're doing because, like you said, the Supreme Court said that he cannot do that, and he's saying, "Well, watch me," because they're not accessing y'all borders; they're accessing our borders. And it's a lot. It's by the droves, and so it's like for y'all to say, "Well, just let them come on in here," then that means that Texas also has to foot the bill. They footing some of the bill because they are shipping them to Democrat states or cities or whatever. So Texas is still paying something. But I think it's unreasonable for the United States government to tell Greg Abbott, and listen, I'm not a Greg Abbott fan at all, but I do agree with him in that, no, we need to do something because y'all wild, and just by saying, and I guess the point of contention is the razor wire. But I just think that the Biden administration, they have the open border policies, and they're like, nah, because at one point in time, they were trying to say that when they sent Kamala to the border, don't come over here, but it's like, but somehow it got worse. It's like they came over and even more so. So I don't know. Fast Not Feeling says, I keep seeing Obama commercials on YouTube to chip in to help buy, and I ain't gonna do none of the above. Iron Will, how you doing? It says special shout out to channels like yours, Black Grassroots. Well, thank you. And
yes, she's been doing this for a very, very long time. Very, very long time.
Yes. And Donovan's been here as well. And Dorothy, he says the awakening is only going to get stronger. Our people are slowly uniting. It's a beautiful thing. Yep. Not a lot. I would say quite a few people are waking up, which is why they're concerned now. Because before, as those bots, on YouTube, but now it's in the comment section. It's everywhere. So they can't ignore it now. Mama Debby says, we are undergoing an erasure and replacement. That's what the word on the street is. And let me skip down a little bit. Thunder, you says, it's really bad when they start putting the prices at the store in pencil or they put a digital price tag. Yeah, because it's like the next time you come back, it ain't going to be the same price, right? And Lillian, how you doing? He says 2024 face hit the floor, boomer couch sitter. So you're saying you're a baby boomer and you're going to be sitting on the couch. Yeah, a lot of our baby boomers are saying that. They're like, nah, and that's the other thing too that's problematic for them. Usually the baby boomers, you bring Obama out there, it's like, oh, I just love I just love him.
First Black president. Oh, my panties are moist.
Right, but that's not working because boomers are like, yeah, we can't keep signing up for nothing.
Well, let me ask you, you guys in the chat, let me ask you guys this. Like I said, I get pissed off when I see Obama because he had 8 years to do something for us and we didn't do a damn thing. What is it that this man is going to do? See, and this is what I'm worried about because he screwed up his legacy. I do not want to see Barack Obama get booed at any of these events or like, lack of turnout, whatever, because it was historic, especially for a lot of us, to live to see a black president of whatever guise it is. But to come back out and be destroyed because of the policies that he supports, I don't want to see that. So that's why I was like, if I was Obama, knowing what I know from the tea leaves and how unpopular I am now and how mad black people kind of are against him and all these excuses. Well, I didn't have time, and nobody wants to hear all that. When you saw Trump come in day one and just sign off stuff, I mean, I don't even see why he would come out and what he would do, because it's almost like sending Kamala out there and Obama. Are you trying to wreck your campaign at this point? Those are two of the main people I would not send to represent me.
Yeah, but what are they going to do? They're hoping that there's still some love, especially from the black community, for Obama and Clinton. They were near and dear to the hearts of black voters, especially, and that's where they're really losing a lot of steam, is from the black voters. Because we know, especially, they're gauging from 2016, where Trump got 8% of the black vote, 12% in 2020 when he lost, right? And now they're saying anywhere between 14 and 30% is what he's projected to get of the black voters. So that's problematic because, as somebody said just a minute ago, they need the black vote. They cannot afford to lose, even a small amount of the black vote. They just can't, which is why you see a lot of people on panic mode. You see people like Roland Martin cussing black people out and calling us everything but a child of God. And you see the new podcasts between Angela Rye, Tiffany Cross, Andrew Gillum. All these people are coming out and really trying to shame black people back onto the Democratic plantation. But a lot of black people just like, I'm not doing it. Sorry. It's too obvious at this point, right? It's too obvious. How is it that we've been asking for 40 acres in the mule, per se, and you watch everybody else come over here, ain't been here a hot second, and they getting everything they need to get set up on their feet, and you can't deny that.
Yeah, but Demetra, if you vote for the Republicans, they ain't gonna do nothing for you anyway.
Well, I mean, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You know what I'm saying? We don't, the Republicans don't come to our churches. They don't do all the silliness, the shucking and the jiving with black people. They don't do that. That's just not the playbook of the Republicans. That's the playbook of the Democrats, because Republicans don't overall or disproportionately or mostly benefit from the black vote. They don't. So there's no benefit for the Republican Party to do that. And I don't know if y'all heard, Snoop Dogg says Trump is all right with me. Now that's now they're gonna start being on Snoop Dogg's bumper, because he's, I guess in some interview he said, I don't have a problem with Trump. He's all right with me.
Well, come on now, you guys, look. See what it is, Demetra. You guys don't understand politics and civics. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a civics lesson real quick, and I don't mean to insult you guys, but it's obvious you guys don't know what you're talking about. Biden forgave student loans to a few people. I mean, if you made a certain amount, whatever it is, he gave student loans out, and a lot of people benefited from it, right? If you didn't get it because you didn't qualify, but he gave student forgiveness. He gave the George Floyd bill. Didn't have no teeth, but he did do the George Floyd bill. See, so being a recovering Democrat, I still pull for them, and I'm just going to put the truth out there for you guys, because what it is you guys haven't heard what he's done for you. You guys haven't heard what he's done for you. So, he did that. The police thing with George Floyd. He did the. Don't forget, it was, if it wasn't for him, the pandemic thing would still be going on. You got that going. The Democrats have given money to the Ukrainians without any oversight. We don't know where the money's going. It's going in all these oligarchs' pockets and stuff. But hey, that's because we want to, defend democracy, so you guys have something to fight, to have for your kids in the future. See, you guys don't understand how the stuff works. It ain't we did an infrastructure bill. You Negroes are going to benefit for the infrastructure bill, even though there are basically no black construction companies in the United States. But you guys are going to benefit from that, even though we're going to keep you under the freeway and marginalizing those communities once we gentrify your asses out. we're going to do all that. But we passed an infrastructure bill, and you guys are still not appreciative. You guys need to be voting for the Democrats, damn
it. Thunder, you say, who all can be considered the new black media? I would like to make sure I have my bases covered. Well, this is a channel, obviously, African Diaspora News Channel. Brother Phil has a podcast that he does almost nightly on the Philip Scott Audio Experience, which he does a lot of deep diving into issues in regards to politics, because, it's political season, so he's really ramped that up. Oh, gosh. You have, Donovan, help me out. There's so many people out there.
Well, okay, to make it simple, the new black media is any group of people that aren't using the Democratic and the Republican talking points. It's just a different perspective. If you hear something different than what you would hear on your MSNBC or CNN, that's the new black media. You got Vicki Dillard, you got Lisa
Cabrera, yeah.
All these people. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Yeah, so yeah, like you said, anybody who is speaking consciousness to black people in regards to voting for our betterment, those are the people that we should follow, But yeah, definitely people like Elisa Cabrera. You got Vicki Dillard. There's just a whole host of people out there. Of course, I know you got a lot of y'all listen to the Black Authority.
Black Authority, Professor Black Truth, and all those other people.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let me skip down a little bit so I could catch up. TAU says, yes, especially when COVID came, those unemployment checks were looking real good every week when Trump was in office, when jobs closed down. Yeah, some people have more money than they've ever had in their life, right? Some people in their working life finally understood what it was like to sit at the table with your family and not have to go to a second job, a third job. You know what I mean? Because I grew up, and Donovan grew up in a generation of, we all sat down at the dinner table. When we came home from school, parents came home from work. There wasn't nobody going off to 2 and 3 jobs and that kind of stuff. Mom and dad came home, and we all came from school, whatever, sat down and we ate. In this modern day, a lot of people didn't know what that was like. And so when the pandemic hit, people were at home with one another, said, oh, you live here? I didn't know that. And so people got used to that. And that was due in part to having, those unemployment checks and, all those things helping people sustain themselves. But of course, when Biden came in office, he flat out said, y'all needs to be getting back to work. That's what he said.
Right. And didn't Biden also say, even though I promised to forgive student loan debt, I'm going to make sure you guys start paying that damn interest. I might not, we might have a thing, but you're going to pay the interest on it. So he started that back up. Now, you guys are already squeezed when it comes to the inflation and everything. So now, wait, Demetra, how many people defaulted on their student loans when he reinstated the payment?
9 million. 9 million student loan debt borrowers, I guess I should say, defaulted. Just didn't pay or whatever, And I saw and heard a lot of people saying, well, hell, y'all got all that money to give away to everybody else. Why should I pay? And some people are just like, I'm just not going to do it. You can't get blood from a turnip. I'm just not. And so the government was like, well, we're not going to hold it against you for a couple of months. So, you could get it together. It's like, I'm not getting it together. Okay. As long as you're giving all that money, I'm not getting it together. And I think if people were to do that, then, they would say, oh, okay, these people ain't playing because they're giving taxpayers dollars away to everybody else. Why not use it for people here?
And then how many of you guys remember when the PPP loan was actually started under the Trump administration? He didn't deal with all the red tape. He was like, just give it to them. If they got a business or they claim to have a business, give it to them. We're not worried about the red tape. Give them the money so they can keep their businesses afloat. We'll worry about it later, right? Now, that helped a lot of people, and a lot of people took advantage of that. But guess who is hunting you guys down like your name is Kunta Kinte? The Joe Biden administration, the House and the Congress, they put a law that will extend for over 10 years and might even be extended past that until they get every penny back. Donald Trump, and we're not Trump supporters, he was not even worried about all that. Just like you said, if you can give money to Ukraine and Afghanistan with no oversight For all we know, that money is going into the pockets of Zelensky and all the oligarchs over there. There's no oversight. And they're losing. Trump wasn't worried about that. Trump was like, well, you know what? It's going to the American people. It's keeping businesses open. It's keeping people employed. So be it. We're not worried about it. But again, we're going to vote for the guy that's going to sick the dogs and the slave hunters on us. We're going to vote for him.
Yeah, Norris. And Thunder, I saw too was Sam's Club. They had generators to $500. I guess that's a sale. Norris, she said, running into more baby boomers who are pissed because they are living on fixed incomes, raising hell. They buy and travel like they were doing. Yeah, especially for people who are on fixed incomes. They go to the store, everything is going up. It's like, well, I don't get any more money than I'm getting. And so where's this extra money supposed to come from? You know? So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I've seen my grocery bill double. At the very least double. And it's like, I'm not even buying stuff all like that, you know? So it's like, what's going on here? It's just the cost of living now. And that it's undeniable. No matter what they say, oh, the economy is getting better. It might be from larger numbers, but you got individuals saying it ain't getting better for me, you know? So
y'all are complaining. Not many of you guys in the chat are actually living here in California. If you think it's bad where you're at, think of where the people that live in California and New York and places like that, we got it bad.
Oh, yeah. What's y'all gas now?
I haven't bought any gas in a while because I've been sitting at the house. But when I went out maybe 2 weeks ago, it was at $4.89 or something like that. And I thought that was good.
Yeah, a while ago I heard I was almost at $6, if not $6 in some places, and probably still is. Like I would imagine in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, yeah.
Yeah, it's still probably around $6, which is like it's crazy, right? Hey, Yanni, how you doing? All right, so let me see. Skip down, and then I think I'm gonna open up the link so y'all could come on here. Old school, if I didn't already. How you doing? It says you have to be a fool and hate the color of your black skin if you vote for anybody in the Democratic Party in this day and age. Yeah. Like I said, the writing is on the wall. You can't keep trying to defend nothing. And that's
Wait a minute. Stop. When I see a black person up there running for office, I'm going to vote color. I don't care what you say. Even though they won't do nothing for me, I'm going to vote because they look like me. I don't question their policy. I'm going to stick my arm out. If you black and you look like me, I'm going to vote for you. And I'm going to hope you do the right thing and do something for our neighborhood. What do you think, Demetri? What do you think of that strategy?
Not going to happen. But that's what we've been doing. And, when we say that, I don't know if y'all remember that older sister, I forget who she was standing up there with. This is when they were trying to get everybody to get the poke. Y'all remember? And she was like, I'm just going to stick my arm out. I'm not going to ask I'm going to take the infusion. I'm not going to ask what's in the infusion. I'm just going to take it. It's like, and that's how they want us to vote. I don't care what's in the booth. I don't care what's on the ballot. If it's blue, I'm voting no matter who. All down ballot. That's the approach that we've been taking that approach, right? And so a lot of us are saying, nah, I ain't gonna do that no more. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I ain't gonna stick my arm out.
Wait. So you're saying Sheila Jackson Lee isn't somebody good to vote for? Barbara Lee isn't somebody good to vote for? Karen Bass isn't somebody good to vote for? I mean, all these black icons, you mean to tell me that we wait. What's his name? Senator from Georgia, Warnock. He wasn't good to vote for. He wasn't good to vote for. You mean to tell me these people aren't looking out for our interests?
Well, where has he been? I haven't heard a peep about Warnock since he was up there sounding like Obama. We got to get in there and put me in office. I ain't heard anything else from him since then. Looking like a glorified Mr. Potato Head, not like Steve Harvey, but
Yeah. Well, I think he's too busy evicting these deadbeat renters out of his property.
Right. But that didn't matter to people. He's sitting up in, Martin Luther King's church, evicting people as he was running over his ex-wife's feet. I'm just saying, that's what they said. He ran over her feet when they was arguing. It's like, now imagine if Trump ran over one of his baby mama feet. He'd be in jail.
Now, y'all ain't right. That's a man of God. Y'all should be saying that to him because sweet Jesus is going to get us to the promised land. Jesus loves me.
You better hope a lightning bolt don't come. Being forever 2009. How you doing? It says we need grassroots Black speakers and leaders to speak outside where we'll gather at the Democratic convention. Let's stand. I send a few messages to the crooked Black mayors and politicians, especially in May. I'm down. I'm down to be out there. But like, what y'all doing, huh? What y'all doing? I'm with it.
Demetria, where's the NAACP? Where's the Urban League? Where are these Black organizations that's supposed to help Black people?
Well, I be hearing them on the radio out here. You know, the president of the Urban League, he was on the radio yesterday. I heard him. So they doing that kind of stuff. They getting on the Negro airwaves. You know, oh, you got to get out there and vote because we can't have Trump coming back up in here. And it's like, shut up already, okay? Shut up. Because y'all talking about Trump, but you're not talking about reparations. And I find that to be a problem from these so-called Black organizations that are supposed to be rallying for Black people. But the only thing they do is talk to Black people about making sure that Trump doesn't come into office. What does that got to do with us? What does that got to do with us to help y'all not let Trump come back into office? Because as we said, when Trump was in office, people had a little bit more money in their pocket. So, you know, they can do what they want with that one. Let's see here. I'm going to skip on down.
Right. So are you saying it's better to have money in your pocket than to be disrespected on the world stage by this guy who's embarrassing the United States? Because you got a lot of Black people say, it's not that Trump is, he's a dirtbag, I don't really like him. It's just the fact that, you know, as America, he's an embarrassment. They're worried about the American look of a president that doesn't go by the international politician rules and stuff like that. And I've heard that from a lot of older Black people that were saying, if the man's an idiot, we don't need him to be president. And they're going by that.
Yeah. M, how you doing? By the way, it says Snoop done flip-flop. Yes, it appears that he did. And Timothy, how you doing? It says Snoop Dogg, who listens to a Snoop Dogg. That's our problem. Unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know. A lot of people do listen to Snoop Dogg. But I think it's interesting, and I mentioned it because before he wasn't really feeling Trump, but now for whatever reason he says I don't have a problem with it. And you know, even at their level, they stand to make a lot of money depending who's in office as well. So, you know, again, you just can't keep denying what we're seeing. You know, you'd be a fool to keep trying to die on that hill of, oh well, Biden's all right. You know, we need to get it. You just can't do it because after a while you'll have to answer to your people why you keep pushing something that's not good for us. You know,
how many of you guys saw I think he was in South Carolina the other day, and those pork chop Black preachers were praying for him, knowing that there are people out here are suffering. Let's just forget Black people. They know that Americans are suffering out here, but they're praying for a president that wants open borders and doing things that are adverse to Black people. You're praying for a man that's giving your tax dollars to other people. But charity is supposed to start at home first. You got to help yourself before you can help anybody else. So, again, a lot of problems in the Black community, these pork chop preachers.
Absolutely. Black Light, how you doing? It says only a few qualify for loan forgiveness, and I question how many Blacks qualify under their guidelines. Yeah, I mean, do they know that you're Black? I guess certain loans, I don't know. Maybe they do, right?
Well, yeah, I'm very sure they do, especially when they look at your Social Security. They assign you those Social Security numbers. Those things mean something. But real quick, for those of you guys that are history majors, if you look at the parallel of LBJ and Joe Biden, you're going to see a lot of things that are similar. RFK ran against LBJ in that election when he ran for re-election. LBJ started the Vietnam War. Joe Biden right now is bombing, even though he said, he wanted to get us out of whatever he was doing. He's bombing over there in Yemen right now, doing that. He had a vice president that was really ineffective. I mean, there's a lot of parallels out here. And the thing is, you got to look at history. There's a saying in history, those that don't know it will damn sure repeat it. And if you look at what is going on, there's a lot of parallels. An unpopular Democratic president incumbent, and he's having challenges to him within his party and all these other things, and people just don't want him to be the president. Joe Biden should not be running at this point. I mean, it's just evident.
Yes, I'm seeing you guys list some people who are good black media, and I'm behind, so I'm going to catch up. Alonzo, it says, I'm a boomer again from Jim Crow, Georgia. Donovan, George Floyd bill is a scam. It's for protection against federal officials. Not every black person live in D.C. or an enclave or territory of the U.S.
Yes, absolutely. But see, how many of us actually read the George Floyd bill? And you've got a lot of black people that are championing, like he gave the George Floyd bill, but they don't know what's in it. That's what I'm saying. We get symbolism. Go ahead, Dimitri.
No, absolutely. You're right. A lot of people won't, and it is for federal officers. Let's see, Brooklyn Bandit, how you doing? He says, honestly, I don't agree with Trump's choice of words, but his policies did work well, border security, and Trump did pass bail reform. So yeah, but they gonna tell you, nah, that's not true. You don't know what you're talking about, and it's unfortunate. Okay, I'm gonna skip down because I am behind. I don't want to be that far behind. Justify Be More, how you doing? Says thank you all for your channels bringing for all your channels bringing great input to teach and awaken our community. I did not get my notification. You both are so informed. Not thank you. I don't know why I don't get notifications either when I try to get notifications for certain people's things.
That's because you've been identified as a new black media, and they don't want you guys to have this. I mean, do you guys think they think that is something that's just weird? They do this on purpose. But like if Demetrio and I were talking booty shorts, Megan Thee Stallion, Sexy Red, you guys get notifications all damn day.
I'm gonna try that and see if that's and see if that works. Get me some Sexy Red notifications, see if I get it. But yeah, I don't get all my notifications either at all. So I don't know if it just needs to be turned on. I don't know. I thought it was, so because it says hit the bell for notifications. So I don't know. Let's see. Okay, let me catch up. Let's see here. Mr. Ali said, did y'all know that Muammar Gaddafi was going to send billions of dollars through Obama's administration to Black Americans? Yeah, he definitely was, and also trying to give the Nation of Islam a copious amount of millies as well. But the United States government blocked that. But of course, we know that the Obama administration was instrumental in, let's say, neutralizing that of Muammar Gaddafi. We're trying to unite the diaspora and get away from that dollar and use the gold. And, they cooked up these lies basically saying that he was inhumane. That's usually their go-to. Oh, they're inhumane to their people. We got to go over there and save them. But all they've done is destabilize Libya, human trafficking and other trafficking going on over there by the Arabs. And nobody has said a peep since. So not only that, when they tell y'all that Muammar Gaddafi was, how can you say it? Well, what is the word I'm trying to use when they assassinated?
Yeah, assassinated.
The word, because when you hear the word assassinated, it sounds a little bit more sanitized. But what they actually did to him was far more brutal than that. They took the end of a gun, that has, I guess what you would call a bayonet, and they did some ungodly things to him with that, just to, keep it clean, not to really, mess you guys up. But so they don't tell y'all all that was done to him by the United States government. So just keep that in mind. That was done under the Obama administration.
And he also was going to take him and a few African nations off the gold standard. Have you noticed that any country that even talks about coming off the gold standard, the United States government has a problem with it?
Oh, yeah. What happened to BRICS? You don't hardly hear a whole lot about that now. I don't know if they've just taken it underground or they, doing something else with it. But before it was all up in the news and, you don't hear much about it now. And Ms. B, how you doing? It says it was a blessing and a curse during the pandemic. There were some people that became entrepreneurs while others struggled. Yeah, unfortunately, that was the case. Businesses closed and a lot of people who didn't qualify for the unemployment and things like that, they were kind of just stuck in the middle. So you're absolutely right. Samuel, how you doing? It says, Black family, we have to vote our interests. Another Biden presidency, the Black community will be irrelevant and permanent underclass. I totally agree with you. Now's the time. We are definitely behind the 8 ball. So let's see here. Tito, he says $2 for a chicken wing. And where is that at? All right, let me skip down. Shelton, how you doing? He says, can't wait to see the election results. I want to see their faces when Democrats not in power anymore, because I'm gonna be at home or probably at work, not in a line voting. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
Shelton, do me a favor. Look up on YouTube the night Hillary Clinton lost to Trump and compare those two. I love the look on those people's faces when Hillary lost. They were just in disbelief. That was the best thing I can do. Or one of my buddies, he called Trump was going to win, and just the look on those people's faces was priceless.
Yeah. Big Rich, how you doing? Yeah, I heard about that. All that money is missing. They said that Zelensky's got a couple of boats over here, and it's like, what you doing with boats over here, man? I thought you was over here begging for money, and you living high on the American hog, huh? All right. But yeah, is anybody going to say anything about that? That don't ever get mainstream. All right, so let's see here. Ooh, I'm so behind. Mama Debby says some illegal immigrants are buying Mercedes-Benz with the government money. Yeah, I covered a story on that. They said they're getting lotto tickets. They ain't winning, from what the guy said, because there's a whole lot of them scratched off on the ground. So they not winning. Okay, let me see. I got to skip down, y'all. Miss Sweet Talk, she says, y'all are not black if you don't vote for Biden. Right. That's what the word on the street is, right? And I'm going to open up the link in just a few. Quinny says, I thank God I live 1 block from a job, right? So you can walk, right? So as far as that gas is concerned, just want to acknowledge everybody that came on here. Samuel C says, I wish I never took the poke, but unfortunately I had to. I didn't want to lose my job. Yeah, and they tied that to a lot of people's jobs. So many people lost their jobs. And nurses, doctors, a lot of them lost their job too, because they're like, I'm not doing it. Are you crazy? I'm not going to do that. Good night, bro. Goo, if you're still on here. I'm sorry that I'm so behind. Edward, how you doing? Says he is not a man of God. And who was that? That's why I'm trying to catch up. Deshaun, how you doing? Says Democrats are done and easy. Says we've been singing Promised Land for 60 years and still haven't reached it. Absolutely. We're still overcoming, right? And Sharon Sutton, how you doing? So you're talking to Tanya, but how you doing? I'm gonna catch up. The mirror likes me. If I didn't already, how you doing? Says it can't blame Snoop. No, I mean Snoop, he's not a voice for us. I mean, but he gets the vote, and if he wants to protect his pockets, you cannot blame him, right? He has a say so in how this country is supposed to run too, right? Is he part of democracy? Okay. And Michael, how you doing? Says Bill Clinton isn't he on Epstein list and do nothing? Obama and Biden, I got your back. Yeah, he is on the list, and they don't make a big to do about that, do they? Dano, how you doing? Says hold the line and stay on code. Absolutely. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm catching up. Nora, she says the only black that I trust in the new black media. I hadn't heard the truth since Malcolm X. Okay. And Joey says, I remember Joe Biden way back in the days. Me and my brothers used to say things about this joker and how racist he was for Black American people in Delaware. Yeah, because that's where he's from, right? That's his home state, Delaware. Veronica.
He's from Delaware, thus he wanted the interest rates on the student loans to continue forward because he gets a lot of his money from banks. Where a lot of the banks and credit card companies located? Dover, Delaware.
I think somebody spammed me on Facebook, but that's okay. Gonna keep scrolling. Patricia, how you doing? Says, please don't fall for the okie doke. Oh, most definitely not. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna catch up, you guys. Blanche, how you doing? Says, what if Michelle decides to step into 2024? From what I understand, she's been saying she doesn't want to do it, but anything's possible, right? She's no better. I mean, she sleeps right next to Obama, her husband. I'm sure she would mirror the same type of policies. And Obama did not do anything specifically for Black people. And I couldn't imagine that Michelle would be any different. In fact, she was upset with Black people for not showing up for Hillary like we did her husband. So, yeah, Michelle has made it clear that, she really is not happy with Black people. So why would we show up to vote for her? I don't think she wants to do it anyway, but we'll see, right? Your average logical thinker says, how did you discover the way he was deleted? I did some research. and read an article or two about it, and I didn't know it. I found out about 2 years ago that's what they did to him. And I was like, wow. But when they say they assassinated him, you think, oh, you just maybe, and that was it. But no, they actually tortured that poor guy, before he actually expired. So yeah, you can, it's on, if you Google it, you should be able to find it. Emily says, Demetra and Donovan, do you guys think that Democrat convention will get protesters in August in Chicago this year? I know for a fact that they will be, because I know some people said they going down there.
Yeah, and you're mostly going to get protests for those people that want a ceasefire in Gaza. I'm not saying that our people won't show up. We will, but it's just unfortunate that other things always have more light than what our plight is. It's just sad, but true.
Hello, Jeff. How you doing? It says, hey, Auntie Demetra and Uncle Donovan. Greetings, Donovan. It's track season in Olympics. You we're going to be beefing. Ha ha ha. Sha'Carri versus Ja. And he says, oh, and the Bob Marley movie is out February 14th. I want to see that. Yeah, you know what? I so badly want to go to Paris and just watch Sha'Carri run and come on back. That's all I want to do. I don't want to stay around. I just want to see a race, and I want to leave. Because I'm very happy for her.
Yes, I'm very happy too. And remember, we when she was going, through her spiral, we've always told her, and I always tell these young people all the time, take care of business first and do the buffoonery later. And notice when she stopped the buffoonery, she started winning. She started winning. So I'll be pulling for her.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she's one of a kind. I'm happy for her. Like I said, I would love to go see her. My name, it says, it's evident now that Democrats stole the election. Oh, I don't know about all of that.
Yeah, I mean, 60 court cases and no evidence was ever produced. Yeah. Trump won 2 of the cases on procedural process, just on procedure. But you had over 58 opportunities to submit proof. Nothing was submitted. So it's mostly unlikely. Now, at a local level, do Democrats cheat? Oh, yeah. Chicago is notorious for it.
Right. Avaretta, I hope I said that right. I'm sorry, Arvetta says, no, Gaddafi was trying to install the gold denarii as a staple currency in the African nations, and he was disposed because of it. Absolutely. So, yeah, but it wasn't for what they said, right? He's a horrible person, because that's what they like to say. Dorothy says, I was so disappointed when I saw people dancing at the polls to vote for Biden Harris. It was like watching sheep going to the slaughterhouse. It was sad. Oh, yeah. But they're going to try it again. Like I said, they're going to dust off Saucy Santana, and tell y'all no voting, no fucking, and all of that to get you to the polls. Hey, Arneva, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Justified B. Moore says, I like that afro you had a couple of days ago. Oh, well, thank you. I try to wear it while it's cold. When it gets hot, y'all ain't gonna see that for a while. But thank you. Marcella says, does anyone remember how hard it was for Black people to get welfare? Black women could not have the mail in the home. Yeah, for a while when they had the New Deal under FDR, Black people weren't included in the New Deal. But it was actually his wife that said, yeah, go ahead and include them because you need them to vote, because Black people could vote. Voters' rights was the issue. That's when they was deleting Black people for trying to vote and had the test and stuff, just all of that to deter people from voting. So Black people can vote. We were just Republican. And that's how we started to switch over to the Democratic Party under the New Deal. But yeah, you're right. Okay, let's see. I think I'm catching up. Am I catching up? Let's see. I was allowed to go thinking that's very disheartening, but they don't tell you that. That's what they did. Pastor Laura Johnson, how you doing this fine evening? Who else came on here? Yes, Samuel says Sha'Carri will win a gold medal. I hope so. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Common Man, how you doing? Says, hey, what's up? Made it. Yes, indeed. We are glad that you made it. We'll be here for another half an hour or so. So I did say I was going to open up the link, huh? Ivory, how you doing? Says, I believe the 2020 election was stolen. You think so? There are some people who just think that it was. Joseph Alexander, how you doing? Says the Supreme Court will not allow that evidence to be submitted over election irregularities. I mean,
yeah. The Supreme Court only ruled on the 2 procedural things. That's the only thing the Supreme Court weighed in on. Those are the ones that Trump won. The Supreme Court cannot necessarily They did not rule on 58 other cases. They didn't do that. They don't have the time to do that. They let the states deal with it because it was a state issue, not a Supreme Court issue. Donald Trump lost, and Giuliani did not present any evidence to show anything of irregularities. They had all the opportunity, and they never showed it. Matter of fact, Giuliani even admitted his complaint had nothing to do with stolen elections. That's a statement that he said in the courts. This has nothing to do with the election being stolen.
Right. So I hope that helps. Michael says Bill Clinton's welfare bill did nothing to improve poor people's economic standing. Common Man says 100% correct. Black people were expected to work for white people during that time. That's why they didn't. The government didn't assist. Good point. Juggernaut, how you doing? And you say, let me get rid of this one here. You say, I wish our people would stop going for those butter biscuits. Those would be the same ones that would peddle the notion of weed. Weed being reparations for Black people. Anything to distort Black folks. Shaking my head. That is comedy. Tony, how you doing? It says, I'm truly astonished that you guys do not sue the federal government. It has broken so many laws against Black Americans. Yeah, there's been lawsuits, but you know, they ain't go. I should also say too that the Nation of Islam does have a lawsuit pending against the federal government and the ADL. I couldn't think of the ADL and a couple other people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you also got to remember the United States government don't even recognize us as human beings. They haven't even codified and changed the Constitution. Remember, they still look at us as 3/5 of a man. So we're not even a human being in their eyes. And like Demetra always says, you got to first have human rights before you can have anything else.
Right. Yeah, and that's actually that from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We're always seeking civil rights, but we don't have human rights. You got to have human rights first. Conscious Ether, how you doing? He says, my dad once told me that when he was young, he had to state how many bubbles a bar of soap would make in order to vote. Crazy times. Yeah, that was I almost said the BS word that they would do to our people, count how many marbles or whatever was in a jar or guess. And, you know, just silliness, basically saying, we don't want you to vote, right? Tanya says Hillary will reap what she sowed for that 3 strikes bill. Well, actually, it wasn't even Hillary because she wasn't in office at all. It was her husband, but she sure did champion the bill right along with him. So you're right. Lillian says boomers, 10% of Black votes sit in would actually throw us into sovereignty. Got a little engine in your blood. Okay. Sandra says, I'm ready for this election to come and go. Yeah, it's going to be election fatigue for a lot of people because both sides, everybody are working overtime, you know, to really get their message out to sway people one way or the other.
I have a question for you guys. If Biden doesn't win this election and he says that it was voter fraud, what do you guys think? Is that plausible? He can say it was election fraud if he doesn't win?
If Biden doesn't win?
Yeah. It's election fraud. It was stolen from me. What if he did what Trump did? Is that plausible? Because he could always say, I had the Black vote. I had more Black votes the first time than I do this time. So there's got to be some kind of irregularities. Couldn't he do that?
I mean, he could, but I mean, you know, we're starting to see numbers now going the other way. So, I mean, he could, but would it be true? And Savvy, you say, I was making a lot of money in the trucking industry when Trump was in office. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that, you know, it's undeniable. And let's see, Crenshaw Mafia, how you doing? So you respond to somebody. Frank, how you doing? Long time no see. Says Bill Clinton welfare bill punished Black men by putting us in jail for not paying child support when there's no debtor's prison. Okay. And let's see. Kim, how you doing? And who else came on here? Diana, how you doing? Says that's going to hurt both. Remember the island. Neither one can help Biden, Obama, and Clinton are in the same boat because of what they did on the island. You talking about the island. Talking about Lolita Island, Jeffrey Epstein. Is that the island you're talking about? Okay. And MC007 says we need to sue for what sanctuary policies have done to Black communities. Absolutely. A lot of those cities are sanctuary cities where they are welcoming to that of migrants, and not only just welcoming, but they help them. So.
And then I want to remind everybody about voting rights. Do not fall for that talking point of voting rights. Most Black people in the United States can vote. If you got a state ID, some kind of form of ID, you can vote. The voting rights thing is to make non-citizens be able to vote. And they're trying to do a trick bag and make it seem like it's racist. When we hear racist, we for some reason we think Black. It has nothing to do with us. If these non-citizens, and in some municipalities, they're actually putting up bills to let non-citizens vote in local elections. So voting rights has nothing to do with Black people. So don't fall for that.
Thunder, you say, what do you think will happen if the Dems refuse to acquiesce and lose? Do you think they will finally acknowledge us and resolve and our resolve? I think they'll have no choice, because if they think that election result was bad, just wait for the next one. But the silly part is, why wait till that get that to that point? Is because I think too they're banking on the migrants coming over here and filling that void. So they're going to gamble and lose, unfortunately. Fortunately, I guess, for them. Kenneth, how are you doing? Thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. Star Child, how you doing? You say maybe this time we don't go and pick up the seniors on voting day if they need a ride. Well,
I'm telling you, leave them at home. Oh, grandma, I forgot.
Well, you should educate them. Try your best. Hey, grandma, what has changed since the last time you voted for that party? Nothing. To try your best to educate them. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to, and Crenshaw Mafia says, I'm not voting. My vote ain't free. I know that's right. I'm going to open up the link.
Yeah, open up the link. And I just want to say this again: we are not advocating for you to vote Trump or the Republican Party. Both parties uphold white supremacy. We're saying, if you're going to vote, if you're going to do a preemptive, a penalty vote like I'm going to do, I'm voting for the Republican nominee. Just the Democrats need to lose power for a couple of election cycles. But what we are saying, if there's nobody candidate that you want to vote for, yeah, go sit on the couch. It doesn't make sense for you to vote for a party that won't do nothing for you as well. So just go ahead and sit out. But please register to vote, because that way they will see the numbers of the people who could have voted and chose not to.
So I'm about to share the link. I want to see and hear new people come up today. Also, just make sure that your question or comment is pertaining to the subject at hand. And I think even I will entertain, something that's not, if it's fascinating, only if it's fascinating. But definitely. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat right now on YouTube. Yeah, people who want to ride, take them, but educate them if they, want to ride to vote. Thunder, you say, if they do try to take away our voting rights, my question is, will it be for only Black people, or will it be for people of color, or will it be for minorities? Right. Well, you ask the right person, they'll say we're all the same, right? No matter how many voting rights you have, if you're not getting nothing for the vote, does it really matter? It just becomes symbolism at that point. We have the right to vote. Okay, and then what do I get for that right to vote once I go on there and vote? Am I going to, come away with something that I can, tangible, say I'm glad I did it?
Yeah, you got a sticker. You got a sticker. What do you Negroes want? They give you an I vote sticker. Every election, you'll see people riding around with the I got a vote sticker, and they're showing it on Facebook and X.
GP, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. What about y'all?
No complaints. What's on your mind, dear brother?
Well, basically, I'm gonna go based off the title because I was just coming from the gym. So basically, like about the Republicans and Democrats, I'll say forget them both because neither of them have the best interests of the Black community as a whole. I'm not gonna go too much into this because I don't know who's watching and might try to off me for this, but my uncle told me something about the Republicans and Democrats that I doubted at first. But the more I live and observe things in the system, the more I start to believe it. Uncle told me that our elected officials are not elected, they're selected by an unseen person who has elite level authority over everything. But if you really think about this, every time we get a Black person in office, it's one that's always skin folk and not kinfolk. I'm beginning to think it's true.
I got you. Gotcha. And Valerie, I can see you. If you want to, if you blank your face out, you can. If not, that's cool too. But I'm gonna bring you up right now. Oops, it says not connected, so I can't bring her up. She blanked out. You blanked out. So as soon as you come back, I see your thing come back in, and I'll bring you up because I don't have the ability to do that. I definitely agree with you, GP. So I'll let you go ahead and go jump in the shower, whatever it is you're gonna do since you came home.
Well, But go ahead, sorry I cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Well, is the answer to that date still no before I go?
It is.
All right, but if three more things, and then I'm head off here. If you remember correctly, the first time I hit on you and told you that poem, I poured my heart out to you and asked you on a date. Your body language initially said that you were interested, but you asked me how old I was, and my age resulted in the age-based auto rejection I usually get with older women. But I'm just gonna say this: you wouldn't be the oldest woman to have messed with me. 5 years ago, when I was 19, a woman found me attractive and was tricking on me. This time I was 19 and she was 83.
Wait, hold
And
on.
what this is my closing statement. If you haven't already and you watching, go ahead, hit that like button for the most amazing, breathtakingly, heart-stoppingly beautiful woman on this planet. If you watching and you haven't already.
Oh, thank you. You sure is making it hard.
Well, why not just go on a date with me? You pick the time and place. I pay for everything, and I even bring you a bouquet of flowers.
Wow, that sounds very lovely. It just
Wait a minute now. I mean,
no, hell no.
no,
Be
no, no,
quiet.
no. I'm speaking for myself. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
So there's not any way that I can get a date with you. Just one day to see where it goes. You never know. Just my age shouldn't be an automatic deterrent. A man that's young enough to be your son could potentially be your perfect man.
You're almost young enough to be my grandson, which is why I would think if we were out to dinner, somebody would call CPS on me. And
Well, see, we can just explain the situation if that happens.
Like I said, you drive a hard bargain. Maybe next lifetime. Maybe next lifetime we'll be closer in age.
All right, I understand. Wait, well, y'all have a nice night.
Thank you. You too. Hold on one second. Michael, how you doing, Michael?
Good. I thought you were gonna allow Valerie go first before I go.
No, I want you to go first because I'm pretty sure you're gonna say the same old thing. But go ahead, right on
No,
with
no,
it.
it's not the same one. It's actually new. I was just reading a quote from former Congressman J.C. Watts. I'm sure you guys are familiar with him from Oklahoma. And
Yep, black Republican from Oklahoma, which was an anomaly back then.
Yep, and I'll just read a quote. It's very quick. He said, and I'm not sure when this was read. He said, "Reparations, I believe, are talked about for political reasons, trying to cater for the purpose of getting votes. If Congress was serious about reparations in 1993 and 1994, the Democrats controlled the House, the Senate, and the White House, and not one single Republican vote was needed for reparations." And this is from J.C. Watts. I'm just quoting.
Got you. So you're saying that he is for reparations? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm not sure because I'm trying to find out what his stance on reparation is. And this was when he was the RNC chairperson.
He was for reparations, but he knew he didn't have the votes for it to pass. Once again, symbolism. It's good to say that when you know it's not going to pass. Right. So that was his claim to fame to really stand out in regards to that because he knew he didn't have the votes, much less in the Democratic Party, much less the Republican Party to get it. Damn, Nancy Pelosi didn't even bring a study to the floor. Mm-hmm. Because she knew there are Democrats that are not going for it, that weren't going to vote for it. She didn't want to expose them. One of those Democrats that wasn't going to go for it was Dianne Feinstein. She was totally against reparations for Black people.
Right. And that's why I figured that if you guys had a chance to interview J.C. Watts on your show, it'll be great because I'm pretty sure that he can make a strong case for reparations due to his experience as a congressman, how the political structure works.
Absolutely. Well, you know what, Michael, thank you so much for coming on here. I'm going to give Miss Valerie an opportunity to speak her piece, but come back and see us again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Valerie. How are you? Oops, let me unmute you. There you go.
I'm pretty good. How you doing?
No complaints. What's on your mind?
Well, I just say that I think that most of our CBC people up there, them Black folks up there, they don't forgot that it was the Black vote that put them in them positions because they doing everybody's business but our Black business. And I really have a serious problem with that. But as far as people running for president, I ain't liking on neither one of them.
Yeah. So if you had to make a choice, what would you do? And some people are saying the couch is looking more inviting on that night.
Oh, the couch always been looking mighty fine to me. But I'm gonna make sure I vote in my local votes. But I can't get with that presidency. I'm gonna sit back and let them white folks have a game at that.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you a quick question in regards to politics. How do you relate your political agenda, what you like, to your family and to your community when you have to talk to people about like politics? I know people don't like to talk about politics, but I like anything else, we should be taught at home how about our history, about who we are, not necessarily what we should vote for, but how we should vote. I mean, what is your philosophy on it?
Well, see, my family is split in half. Half of them love talking about politics and to drive you crazy about it, and then the other half won't even look at about it. Okay, so we kind of split down the middle on that kind of stuff, but they do know they Black history. And even though I'm of age to where we weren't taught Black history in school, we found a way to make sure everybody knew about it at all times. And then we always listen to IOG, which is Israel, and we listen to IUIC too. Okay, and then House of Jacob and Israel Church of Jesus, because they definitely will give you some Black history straight out of that Bible. So yeah, we very in tune with our history. But like I said, half the family is politics, the other half is not. And so we have debates on back and forth with Republicans, because some of us have been registered Republicans and some of us have been registered Democrats. But we try to always vote how we feel it will affect the Black communities that we live in. And I don't like them telling me, LGBT people telling me that we need to use the Black people like Beyonce and all of their money to help our communities. They do what they want to. They earn that money. I think everybody else's community is getting it from the government, and ours should too.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. Totally. And I like what you said, how they say celebrities and stuff should, help out and stuff like that. It's like you said, that's their money. They earn it. They can do what they want to do with it. The debt comes from the government, not people who, use their talents to get what they got. So I totally agree with you. So anything else you want to add?
Oh, no, I'm good. I just had to put my little 2 cents up in there.
Well, thank you for coming up here, and come back and see us again.
We will.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. People coming up and giving us new ideas and new voices. And, what I think the Democratic Party and the Republican Party did not plan on was at one time, like I'm in California, so a lot of politics and stuff has to do with regional. We were always a regional type people. We didn't talk as one type of people. But now you got people like all over the nation, we're all talking with some of the same ideas, and it seems like everybody's starting to get on the same page. And I think it's going to get to where they're going to try to regulate the internet to where they're going to try to break this stuff up, because we're too much on code now, which hasn't happened ever.
Yeah, that's kind of why we try to be careful, especially on this channel, as to what we say, so that we don't raise certain flags or algorithms or whatever, because they do have sometimes bots will go through and kind of monitor certain things. So we try to be careful what we say, because it's not our platform, which is why it's important that we get on platforms that are owned by us, like the African Diaspora News Channel app at africandiasporanews.org. You can invest in that app, where you'll get a lot of uncensored information. On these platforms, we are censored. So, and you're right. What if they do, come in and say enough? Then what will we organize and get the information? So we might as well start going over that way anyway, which is what a lot of people are starting to do. They're starting to make their own platform, so they don't have to worry about being X'd out, if you will. So we got about another 15 minutes. So anything else y'all want to talk about while we're on here? It could be anything at this point. Because of course we're going to talk about politics until the elections. The common man says Black women use the race card to get what they want. Maxine Waters was the one who called President Trump racist. It's not racist. She did. Remember what she says, when you see, Trump supporters out to dinner, go in there, what did she say? Go in there and harass them. And they was on her bumper for that. It's like, oh, Maxine, you don't want to tell people to do that.
Well, what kills me is, in what I've observed, especially in this election cycle about Democrats, they seem more authoritative than they are about democracy. Where is the Democratic primaries? If Biden has done such a good job, what is the best way for him to get his message out and to talk about his record and what he's done for Democratic elected or voters, what he's done for Democratic voters? They don't want elections. They've shut the damn thing down, and they use black people to do it because Jamie Harrison is the DNC chair. I mean, that's not democracy. I just don't understand how a party that is supposed to be evil and against black people, they practice democracy more so than the Democratic Party. But yet the Democratic Party is supposed to be the party of the people. So, Demetria, could you kind of help me with that to understand? They keep talking about democracy, but yet I don't see the Democratic Party doing anything in regards to what the people want.
So I'm sorry, what's the question?
So my question is, they keep talking about democracy, how we got to save democracy, and if the other party gets in the party, it's going to be the end of democracy and all this other stuff. But yet this election cycle, there's no primaries. There's no Democratic primaries. At least the Republicans have had primary, even though Donald Trump didn't show up, but they still had them.
Yeah, well, again, that should be an answer right there if you live in a democracy. You do not. Because if people want a primary to go choose, a candidate or whatever, that should be the case. But they are having primaries. I know it was in New Hampshire. They had one for Biden.
Yeah, well, Biden won by write-in, but
right.
New Hampshire, come on.
Yeah, because they were originally wanting South Carolina to go first, but New Hampshire was like, no, we always go first, so we going first. But yeah, that goes to tell you right there is no democracy if you don't have a say-so, right? And Alonzo, thank you so much. It says, pay my yearly subscription for African Diaspora Channel today. Yes, the more of y'all that go over there, then the sooner we can not be as reliant on these platforms. So we thank you for that. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. Somebody asked about a black agenda. What's the black agenda? And I'm sorry, I forget who it was. But I always say this because I think that's a popular question. I'm not saying you're asking it for this reason, but people say, well, what is the black agenda? We need to know what the black agenda is. Well, Marcus Garvey had a black agenda. Nation of Islam has a black agenda. Dr. Claude Anderson has a black agenda. Everybody else in between has a black agenda. Most recently, Ice Cube, Contract of Black America, it's a black agenda. So it's not that we don't have a black agenda. It's which one are we going to follow? And they're all pretty much the same, if you ask me. But are we going to pick from one of them? Or are we waiting from somebody else who we have more regard for, like them folks, to come up with a black agenda? So we have plenty of them. We've always had a black agenda. We just keep, not wanting to implement them. All the black agendas ask for reparations. Recently, in the last, I would say, couple of years or so, we asked for a hate crime bill. The Nation of Islam is asking for land, as with a lot of other ones. I'm asking to open up these prisons and free our people. So the black agendas are all the same. We just need to decide that we want to follow it. Y'all saw what happened with Ice Cube. We had a very good black agenda that had a lot of black economists pour into it and say it's a go. Trump's administration looked at it. Biden's administration, before he got in, says when we get in, we'll look at it, and they haven't done it since. So, and black people unfortunately tore Ice Cube a new one for trying to help black people when he's got plenty of money. He'll be all right. But so it's like, what black agenda do we want to follow? So there's plenty of black agendas out there. Trust me. Okay, so let's see. Okay. So Thunder says Springs will be here and we should start planting some food, even if it's just tomatoes. Yep, get ready because ain't no telling what we're getting ready for, right? Be easy, that dude. How you doing? He says they keep saying Trump will be a dictator, but the Democrats have eliminated the primary, not giving the people a say in the matter. So who's a real dictator? Great point. Great point. All right, so let me skip down. Mr. Ali said, I told you, Demetra. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you for that. Donovan is like, she all right. You know, I was like having a cold bologna sandwich, you know?
I'm going to say this for all you Demetra lovers. Never trust a big butt and a smile, okay?
Yes, I'm very trustworthy, okay? Have a great smile. I don't know about that other one. Common Man says, every black woman politician uses the race card when they want to get what they want. They play on white guilt. Yep. Okay. All right, let me skip down. Big Rich says they always talk about saving democracy and defending democracy, but all I have seen from democracy was destruction. Good point. Dwayne, how you doing? Says nobody believes that anyone this season, Donovan, black people have had enough of two evils. We will break their system by staying out, but some brothers are getting revenge by voting for Trump. Yeah. Some people are saying, I'm going to vote for Trump. And a lot of people are mad. Love JJ, how are you doing? Long time no see. He says, I'm listening on the sidelines. I listen on the sidelines often. I'm late, but I'm here. Hello. Well, hello to you. And Tracy, how you doing? Says Ice Cube for me. Yeah, Ice Cube, he had one. And he'll never be the same. I think poor guy is traumatized for putting his neck out there to help black people. And, you know, it was awful. I never listen to Ice Cube again. It's like Glow the Dean, stop. When is the last time you listened to America's Most Wanted? Okay. The most you listening to is the Jitterbug, but I know you're not listening to Ice Cube. So he's not going to be hurting because you and Melvin do not want to listen to him. Common Man says the original Black Panthers. Yeah, Black Panthers have one. So there's been a lot of black agendas, you know. Tanya says NAACP is ran by white supremacists on the board. Yeah, they it's their organization. It was started by them. Jump Shot, how you doing? Says Mr. Meacher, loving the red lipstick. Oh, well, thank you. And Curtis, if I didn't already, how you doing? Says no reparation, no vote. And Be Easy says, what's the immigrants' agenda? What's the Ukrainians' agenda, etc.? It's not about the agenda of the collective. What black empowerment agenda are you fighting to implement? Good point. Yeah, no, but that's the other thing. And I'm not saying it's about the person who asked the question, but that's what they do to us, right? Well, what's a black agenda? So they get everybody out there to say that. Well, they never say what a black agenda is. But it's like, well, then how do you say you're speaking on black issues if you don't know that there's a black agenda? There's been one really for over 100 years at least, you know. And then if you really want to take it back to the triple OG black agenda, well, that was supposed to come from the United States government, 40 acres and a mule. That never happened. So we have plenty of black agendas.
Our agenda right now, in my opinion, is survival. We have to learn to survive because we're not making it. We're not making it. The same people that feed you and house you are the same people that can evict you and starve you. We have to get back to relying on ourselves. And we're not going to do it being an independent, strong, independent black man and a strong, independent black woman. We're going to do it by being together like they did when they kicked us off the slave plantation after slavery. Said, get off my property. And these black people with nothing but rags on their backs went and built Tulsa and all these great cities that black people had. Black Wall Street. If they did it then, and those people barely had an education, how the hell, with all the education and these so-called educated black people that we have today with the technology and the Google, that we can't do it now?
Thunder, you say, have you tried your radio yet? DK and Donovan. Yes, I have tried it. My daughter's a little freaked out by it. She's like, no, I'm scared. We've heard some chatter just kind of messing with it, but I really plan to learn how to delve into it. But yeah, it can be kind of on the creepy side, I would imagine.
Well, don't worry. I know how to hit the radio stations and all that. It's in my survival kit. And again, for those of us that are independent and raising our kids by ourselves with no coverings or whatever, if you can legally attain some kind of defense for yourselves and your family, you need to do that, because if something kicks off, just hypothetically, if something does kick off, you can't expect other people to come to your rescue.
Yes, indeed. And Love JJ says, Demetra and Donovan, what do you think is one possible solution? I don't believe either party is a party for Black community. Is not voting the answer, and what will that strategy do for us? Some people, not voting. That is the answer, if you will. I think more than anything, it sends a message that you can no longer assume my vote, and I'm not going to keep showing up for nothing. I mean, because if you think about it, sitting on the couch is almost the equivalent of showing up to the booth, especially if you're voting, or really at this point, regardless of who you're voting for. But the Democrats are the ones that benefit from Black people. So you stay at home, you go vote. What you're going to get the same thing? Nothing at this point. The Democrats, they're not offering Black people anything specifically, but they're giving it to everybody else. But you got a lot of these, pundits that work for the Democrats, the Black pundits. They'll tell you are getting something for it, but they'll never, ever be able to say what that is specifically. They usually go to the all lives, are getting something talking point, but never, ever would answer for us what we're getting specifically. Now, it'd be different if no one else was getting anything specifically, but they are. We don't have the money. Well, people will be mad if we give reparations, or our ancestors aren't responsible for slavery, or we're not, responsible for slavery and all that. So we get a lot of excuses, but everybody else actually gets something. So sitting home, voting for the Democrat, you're probably going to come up about the same.
But in the meantime, we need to do something and, support Israel. You need to, support everybody else. You need to support these migrants. Look at all these Black bootlegs out here talking about it's the Christian thing to do to help our brothers that do that, whatever. But yet you've got American citizens right here, and you're telling them to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and half of those American citizens don't even have damn boots. I mean, come on. But they'll be the first to tell you to feel sorry for Israel, feel sorry for the migrants, feel sorry for this. Hell with that, feel sorry for yourself. We're the ones at the very bottom of the economic scale.
Absolutely. I'm reading y'all comments. Y'all crazy. You know what? I am tired. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, I was kind of up early today. Laura, if I didn't already, how you doing? He says, Trump has no Black agenda. I'm sitting my Black behind on the couch. He does have one. What is it called though? What was Trump's agenda?
Trump's agenda was I forget. It's not lift every voice, whatever. That was Biden. It was the gold plan or something like that. Yeah, the platinum plan.
Yeah, so he did have one. But it doesn't include reparations. We'll be honest about that, but he definitely does have one. Oh, it's my pleasure. Love, JJ. Let's see here. Just want to acknowledge anybody that came on here, but we're going to get out of here. We'll be back, I think, tomorrow, Wednesday. I wasn't here last Wednesday because I got caught up in something and I couldn't get away on time, but I definitely will be here tomorrow. And we'll have another good discussion. So you guys, in the meantime.
But where's Walter?
Where's Walter? I don't know. We'll see if he's here. Walter's out there making that money. So he may or may not be here. He was ready to be here last Wednesday, I will say, but it was me that dropped the ball. So hopefully tomorrow we can have a good discussion. Easy say these folks continue to use the power of manipulation and mind control, and it's working dearly, unfortunately. So anyway, hey, L Boogie, how you doing? Thank you for being here and keep up the good work. You guys go follow L Boogie Speaks To show. He's putting out some good information. Anybody else who has a channel, the Average Logical Thinker has a channel. A couple people on here has a channel. They're really talking some good stuff. So let's be sure to support each other. In the meantime, we're gonna get out here. Love and appreciate every last one of you guys. Peace.